Wake up, stupid. The market's We're going to be going nothing but down from here. And I want you guys to understand the whales have just used the elections as their exit liquidity. Now, truth be told, this is not what Alex Becker has just said. He made a recent video talking about selling and when to sell. And I think this is important because I actually agree with him. We could have the bull run ending here in the next few months. And what that ultimately means is that we're going to have to really think about selling accordingly here. Not some, hey, let's just see what happens, sell plan. I mean, actually thinking about this. You might be someone who's like, oh, hell, Kyron, I might just worry about this later on. You know, this is something that I'm going to worry about when all my coins are up at 10x. No, because I'm going to give you some tough love and say right now, again, 95% of us, yes, that means likely you watching this video won't make any money this bull run. It's true. It's a stat. You're not special. You're not anyone different. So ultimately, I want to analyze what Mr. Becker said on his recent video here. Is he correct in some of his assumptions based on the market? I've broken it down and I want to give you my insights into them. First of all, guys, it goes without saying, if you find yourself enjoying this video, hit that like button and help support all I do around here by trying to provide you guys with the best information possible in crypto every single day with a subscribe as well. Now, with that being said, I want to point out one specific point of Becker's video here that I actually found the most interesting and where I want to kind of base things from. He thinks the bull run might actually end in the next 6 months. Now, I've spoken with a few other influencers as well, and a lot of people are looking to take profits within the next 6 months, okay? Some kind of profit. Now, this is interesting to me because I base a lot of my profit taking from reasonable price predictions, pulling back into what I call the GGR zones or the green, gray, and red zones to find spots where liquidity will still be. The thing is, though, that's holding one type of assumption. We have to make a few different types here. And what Alex actually said in this video opened my eyes to a whole new different type of sell plan that I haven't considered that I am going to be considering now. And I want you to listen to this very important quick segment and I'll take it from there.
Is we're going to try and exit kind of in a wave. So we're going to exit. Okay. So we're going to probably average around these 2 points right here. No, this is not maximum profit, but it's a lot of profit, which is more than 95% of people in crypto leave with. Then what we're going to do at this point in time, when we're taking all the profits here, the bull run's probably still going to have all sorts of really fast pumpy coins. We're going to take most of our pot out, we're going to put 10% in, and we're going to gamble with that for the remainder of the bull run. You can make a lot of money doing that.
So I haven't actually considered this yet. Like, obviously, I've thought to myself, holding some of my positions in coins, maybe 5 or 10%, and letting them ride up to levels to make more money. But he's taking a two-sided approach. He's taking a very safe approach by taking all your profits in the first initial pump, and then going a step further and saying you can actually maximize your returns by taking 10% of all the money you've made and using that to pretty much gamble. And I quite like this idea. So he wants us to sell our altcoins not by means of have they hit our sell prices, but looking at our portfolio as a whole. And this is using something that I'm calling checkpoints, okay? So it's not his words verbatim, but it's pretty much what he's saying in the sense that we need to find a size of our portfolio to grow to that will unlock a new paradigm of financial security for you and your situation, not what you actually want and all your dreams and goals mash into one. Like, you're not going to say, I want $10 billion. We all want that, but what's that next step? If you're someone who's earning $50K a year, who's invested $10,000, that to you would look like $100,000. And then using 10% of when you unlock all your profits to reinvest back in the market to specifically look in this orange zone here to then get that next milestone, that next level of financial security. And this won't be clicking with you now that we're going to map it out, but this sounds to me like a really, really good idea. And it's going to be something I'm going to be considering for my own portfolio. And I'm going to match this into what my own personal plan is for my altcoins here in just a moment. I'll explain this to you guys soon. So if you're someone who earns 50K a year, 40K a year, this is US we're talking about, and you're looking for that next step in financial freedom, that might be 100K. So you can pay off some of your bills and maybe quit your job and focus on a hobby that you want to start or a business for a couple of years. I think the next evolution is 300K to buy a house. From the 300K, the next evolution is 500K to, buy a house and invest in yourself. I think the best thing in life to do is invest in yourself. And then $1 million from there. So 2 or 3 properties or invest in other markets. And then, every mil from there, I think would be the target, personally speaking for me anyway. So again, we're just looking for that next evolution. And if we do this particular plan here, we break down the bull run in ways I don't think anyone really understands truly, okay? And that means going again from 10K invested, looking for a 30X, hitting that first checkpoint, 300K, even if that first checkpoint means you're selling out down here. It's okay, guys, because you've made that 300K. We likely have a lot to still go in the market. And what this means is then you can safely take out 10% 10%, like Becker said, use that money and save it, throw the 30K, that 10% back in the market, look to make 500K, aka that next evolution, that next sort of checkpoint, if you will. Once that's hit, that might hit over here somewhere if you invest accordingly. Maybe that hits over here and you don't make any more money. Who cares? You're still making more money. You've unlocked 2 levels of financial freedom. But let's say it hits down here somewhere. What happens then? Well, you have 500K, you take 10%, you reinvest it, you save the other 90%, and then that 50K, you can look to maybe make your third checkpoint, 1 million. All up, you've saved, plus the million, you've made $1.7 million, and you've hit that 4th checkpoint over here. So he's taking it very smartly, I think. He doesn't care necessarily what these coins go to in terms of price. He's looking at this in terms of your portfolio size, what it means for you. I know a lot of you out there are struggling right now thinking to yourselves, hey, I've got 10K, I need to make this $1 million. You're listening to YouTubers out there saying you need to find the 1000x gems. That was me in the last cycle, finding 1000x gems. You can do that with the 10% you have to reinvest the gamble money. But for your financial freedom and for your future, I think it just makes sense to do what he's saying here. Set realistic sell levels on your coins, but look for your portfolio rather than a massive goal you might have and adding that pressure to yourself. This might mean you might take 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4 or 5 different overall checkpoint sell levels on the bull run, but you're doing it extremely safe. Yes, like Becker says, you're going to leave a lot of money on the table, all right? Maybe overall you look to, let's just say again, because you're not going to be able to 20x every time this new pot of cash. Let's say you make $1 million. You turn $100,000 into $1 million or $2 million. Maybe if you kept it in, you could have made 3 or 4 million, maybe. But if things turn on a dime and all of a sudden everyone's losing their money, again, 95% of us will, you've at least made money. You're in that small statistic that has made money and you're happy. You now have the chance to do things, like I said before, purchase a new house or whatever it may be. You've materialized gains, and that's the most important thing. Now, in Becker's video, he also mentions a few important things like getting ready for these massive crashes and don't panic sell on the first massive crash, because I'm guessing a lot of us will do that. It'll feel like it's this up here, it's the crash happening, but it's a natural pullback that usually occurs mid-cycle-ish to allow us to go to that next step. So don't panic. But he does mention this may occur around $70,000 to $80,000, and that between $90,000 to $100,000 is when we should look to begin taking our money off the table, irrespective of where our portfolio balance currently is. So even before these checkpoints. And I think that this is, roughly speaking, a pretty okay thing to say. And again, he can say whatever he wants to say, but a lot of people are also screaming this as well, in the sense that, waiting for Bitcoin specifically to hit a price. And that ultimately is a price prediction, except rather than gambling it all on one altcoin, it usually is a barometer for your whole portfolio. So personally speaking, I think this is almost a lagging indicator. I think it's pretty easy to say, well, we should have sold our altcoins between these 2 levels, like Becker said. But I think in real time, the best thing that we can do is gauge dominance levels. If we gauge dominance and Bitcoin's dominance relative to what we're selling, which is altcoins, we begin to realize when it's actually a good time to begin taking money off the table, even if we haven't actually hit these milestones yet for our portfolio. So what we're looking for here, this is Bitcoin's current price in orange, just to show you that, hey, Bitcoin's price still goes up as simultaneously its dominance goes down. So in this light orange color, its dominance falls down, but it still goes up. The reason being is because the overall market's market cap is increasing. So while dominance goes down, dominance is a reflection of the global market, what its relative share of the global market is. So as long as the global market's increasing faster than its dominance is falling, it's still going to go up in market cap, which is what happens. Okay, so what we're looking for here is in this light blue color is the altcoin market dominance. And you can see it's inversely correlated to Bitcoin. When Bitcoin goes up, this goes down. When Bitcoin goes down, this goes up. And guess what? Since we're selling altcoins, I think it's important to us in real time to gauge when Bitcoin's dominance begins to go down and this begins to go up. We can say to ourselves, all right, we need to keep a very close eye on when it reverts again and Bitcoin's dominance begins to go up. You see Bitcoin's dominance begins to go up over here and altcoins begin to go down. We have to take profits in this early stage over here and use the massive spike that does occur immediately after over here as our way to get that extra 10%. So this is that same point in time of actually match the dates up from what Becker was saying and match the dates up from over here as well. And this is, again, Bitcoin's dominance in this light orange color and altcoin's dominance in this blue color. And you can very well see if you took profits when Becker was saying to take profits, and you, again, this is the latest point you should be doing so for your main portfolio or that main checkpoint, it should be around here when altcoins begin to increase, and they will continue to increase. This will allow you to ideally hit your checkpoint quite early on if you've been investing down here. And then as we go up, as altcoins still continue to gain momentum, you should be able to take a few more checkpoint levels levels, and again, use that at least last 10% at this time over here. If in the worst possible case, your checkpoint doesn't hit until up here, you should still have that extra time over here. We're talking months, guys, months and months and months. And you'll notice that altcoins start down here in this sort of green zone. Now, this green box down here actually represents a very good time, in my opinion, to buy altcoins, because you can see when altcoins were at these levels, if you were buying, they had a massive surge up. And once they ticked into the red zone, obviously that would have indicated a pretty good time to sell. Now, if we move over and into the current times for where the dominance stands, you'll see that altcoins right now are sitting well in the green zone, the exact place they were at that time. And from here last time, they did this, while Bitcoin initially did this, and then came down and they switched hands. So what we're looking for is that switch hands to happen. Ideally, altcoins to hit some level around here. I'm not going to sit here and say it'll hit the exact red zone again, like it did back over here, which would have been a good time to sell earlier in this year, of course, but we're waiting for it to come near that level at least, in which we will likely have our portfolio goal or first milestone hit to then speculate on later on. So given the start of last year, right, back in October, this would have been a great time for us to buy back here in October if we had somewhat realistic levels to be sold at, or a portfolio goal of, let's say, 10xing our portfolio. That may have actually been hit over here early on, in which we could have safely secured profits and then speculated a little bit more on the trail end. We can even look at USDT's dominance as well and use this as a sort of gauge to go, okay, well, where's the money currently sitting? Now, you guys know when USDT's dominance in this light color here versus the global market cap begins to go down and then stagnate, move sideways, well, that's obviously money flowing into the market, okay? When the market dumps, it spikes, and of course, then it comes back down again when we're feeding the bull run, when we're feeding our altcoins. Now, of course, it goes down and dominance begins to go up. Money needs to flow out of Bitcoin and stuff and flow into, well, USD. And in this case, the main sort of stable coin we use in crypto is USDT. Now, the reason I'm showing you these dominance charts again is just to give you the idea that these are a better way, I think, of gauging where we are currently in the cycle, is looking at where the relative altcoin sits, again, its dominance, versus Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin begins to fall down in terms of relevancy, its job's done, money's been pulled into the market from its general interest, and altcoins now have their time to shine, as well as, again, USDT's chart here, money's being sucked out of stable coins and thrown into altcoins. Maybe this is time for us to consider, if our first checkpoint hasn't been hit yet, maybe we should reconsider. You might be someone who's like, well, I'm investing 10K or 100K. My first checkpoint should be 500K or $1 million, but I'm going to jump a checkpoint or a couple of checkpoints and go straight to 2 million because I believe in my coins and I believe in my entry levels and sell levels and so on. If you do that, this is the best way you can kind of catch yourself and say, well, okay, I've jumped a few levels here. I've hit a portfolio target of $1 million. It looks like from USDT's dominance, it looks like from the dominance levels over here, and altcoins are in the red zone and Bitcoin has fallen down in terms of relevancy. Maybe I should just take that profit off the table, lock in wherever I am currently as a checkpoint, and then let's begin to gamble with some safe money. Now, if you like me personally, I want to actually incorporate this way of thinking into my own personal portfolio. You guys who are OGs know I'm like water. I'm malleable. I never am set on a single way of doing things. I always want to be refining my own personal sell plan, because that's when we actually materialize gains and goals. I'm looking to make the most money in crypto in the safest possible way. So incorporating this plan from Becker here into my own, I think there's 3 triggers we do have to consider. Using Becker's plan of using a portfolio with checkpoints is we're going to be looking at setting ourselves up with the next checkpoint for our financial freedom, not jumping a checkpoint, just one single jump in a checkpoint, okay? So that of course means 100K to 300K to 500K to 1 mil to 2 mil and every mil after that. From there, using 10% of your profits to reinvest into the next checkpoint to achieve that goal. So like I've said many times now, if you are someone who's fortunate enough to watch this video in 2024, we're down here pretty much, we might actually hit multiple checkpoints, therefore we can reinvest 10% into obtaining the next checkpoint. But if you're someone watching this video like mid 2025, we may be up here. So your portfolio at this point here, you have to be very careful. The longer you leave it, the worse it possibly gets. We're at a very fortunate time right now. Next up is simple, right? This is my personal plan on actually exiting each coin, because they're not just going to magically sell themselves, is doing things by selling realistically and in the GGR zone. So per altcoin, using a sell plan like I have down below in my private community to ensure that we're actually selling, like you can see here, at prices that will average out of our target. If our target is $10 average sell price, you need to sell some before, you need to sell some over that goal, but doing so realistically with minimal risk and making sure you're making the money. A lot of you guys are out here listening to inexperienced people, I'm just going to say it how it is, who don't don't know how to set up sell plans, who don't know what weighted averages is, and why selling a certain amount of coins at a sell level will impact your overall sell price. To do this, you need tools or experience, which I've got on offer in the private community, but making sure you're doing this at safe levels, in the green zone, okay? Now, my general rules here is when you're selling, make sure that your first sell level is always 50% lower than the price you're selling at, and two, you want to take back all the money you've invested in a coin plus 50% of the money you've invested as profit before your sell price. Okay, so what this looks like, if this is part of our situation here, we've invested at $1, we spent $10,000, so we've got 10,000 tokens, and we want to sell at a 10x at $10. We're going to start selling at $5, which is 50% less risk, so we're taking some money off the table, but we're also wanting to make sure we're getting back that $10,000 plus at least 5K in profit before this level 4 over here. And we are. Actually, if we total up all these sell levels here, we get to 24K. So we're making double the amount of money you put in. That's what we have to do, in my personal opinion, per coin, even if we are likely going to be selling down here somewhere, okay? Because even down here, we just don't know when the bull run's going to top out at. Even if we use dominance, anything can happen. There are such things as black swan events. And lastly, narrative pumps, making sure we observe where the coin sits in what narratives, because narratives work at different times. There's an AI pump, a D-pin pump, and when there's a D-pin pump, AI coins are out of favor. When there's a gaming pump, no one's investing in AI coins. Same with SUI ecosystem projects, same with Solana, and so on, okay? So making sure if we are looking to get out of the coin itself, not just a portfolio, but the coin itself, that we do so within this narrative pump, because usually 99% of the time, the coin's all-time high will happen when it's a narrative pump. An AI coin will not have an all-time high in a gaming pump. It just won't happen because everyone's investing in gaming coins. When AI is center stage, your AI coins will pretty much be at their all-time highs. So if that's gone and dusted, you might begin to think to yourself, maybe this coin won't reach those levels again. Maybe the all-time high has happened. Should I take some profit off the table? And this, of course, all works in the grand scheme of your portfolio. If you got 10 coins, half of them have had their narrative pumps, but you've hit your overall goal, that checkpoint goal, you might just consider calling a spade and exiting all positions, not financial advice, because they've had their narrative pump. So in combination, guys, with these three things, the overall portfolio plan, selling per altcoin, and observing the narrative pump, I think we are most equipped for this bull run. I'm glad I came across this BECKER video and broke it down in this way. I want you guys to like this video right now if you found value in this, and join the private community down below. I'm going to be breaking this down further, doing a lesson on it, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Guys, looking forward to making money with you in this bull run. I do feel sorry for 95% of you, but ultimately, it is what it is. Those who listen to this information now will reap the rewards, and those who do not will unfortunately be, well, probably crying in 2026. Talk to you soon. Take good care. Bye-bye.